The topic is communicating English. Okay, and this topic covers wide range, and we include many subtopics. For example, communication and concepts of communication, as well as nature, mistakes, and process of communication, and objectives of communication, body language, the role of body language in communicating, and the role of enunciation and characters in communication. These are the topics which will be included in communicative English. First, if we discuss about communicative English, as you know that communicative English covers a wide range and it covers it cannot be confined into boundary. It cannot limitize. Whether you are the professionals or engineers, doctors, scientists, or research scholars, every time, everywhere, you are thinking the act of communication. Okay, in the case of science and technology, and in the age of controlled competition, communication English has become an integral part of life, and we cannot imagine we cannot imagine and survive without it in the age of 21st century. This is an unavoidable truth. Okay, it is an approach. What is communicative English? It is an approach to language teaching in which students learn from real life interaction, which can help to reinforce the value of their studies. Communicative English is very important as it enables communicate effectively at large scale, at global level. The communicative English aims at to develop accuracy, fluency, confidence, and communication skills of learners. We know very well that our existing approaches and methods develop in the learners just the ability to compose the correct sentences, but it might be argued that only to have this talent, to have this quality is not enough, because we must know how to communicate in the different situations. We have to be sensitive to the educational background of the readers, of their expectations, intelligence level, and so on, and then construct sentences. For example, a doctor-patient interaction. When the doctor diagnoses the diseases, he or she may say to a layman patient, you have some fault in your blood. For example, if a doctor is talking to a layman person, then he communicates that you have some fault in your blood. But at the same time, when a doctor is communicating to a layman person, then the sentence is your WBC count low. And when a doctor starts another doctor, then it says that your weak lymphocyte count is low. So we should consider the level of recipient, the level of the listener, and according to that, we should try to construct sentences. Communicative is which emphasis on make proper use of connectors, use proper structure, use proper word order, brevity, there should be clarity, use of grammar, coherence, appropriate punctuation, avoid verbosity, as well as choice of words are appropriacy. For example, please recruit the following candidates. If the sentence is, please recruit the following candidates. So this is not correct sentence. The correct sentence is, please reject the following candidates. Recruit is not used. Okay, this may be reject. I increase the accusation. The next sentence is, I increase the accusation. This is again incorrect sentence. I deny the accusation. Refuse is incorrect. We have to be denied. Communicating is, as you know that communicating is includes the term communicating plus English. So we must try to know the concept of communication and English language, because when we listen to the term communicative, then communication comes to our mind, and the communication which is done in English and English language. So we must try to understand the concept of communication and language. What is the basic environment for communication? The answer is language. Any doubt? What is the basic requirement for communication? What is needed for communication? The answer is language. It is best established fact that communication is made possible with the help of language. Language is a medium of communication. It is the language through which we share our ideas, we transfer our feelings and thoughts from one person to another person. What is the purpose of language? Language has a very important social purpose because it is mainly used for communication. But the question is, can we communicate without language? Can the communication be done without language? The answer is yes, in some cases, but not in all cases. Communication can be done without language. For example, dog barks and it informs its master that someone is standing at the gate. The dog is barking and it is informing to its master that someone is knocking at the door. Here, dog sends signals to the master, and master understands the meaning. The signal sent by the doctor. Here, communication takes place between dog and master. So, communication takes place without using language. But we are human beings. We are social creatures. We can't communicate without language. Next example is communication between child and its mother. In both examples cited above, communication does take place, but language is not. So it is not linguistic communication. It is some different type of communication. But we as human being, being social creatures, we need language to convey our emotions and ideas. Okay. But the question is language. Do you know the definition of language? What is language? No idea? The word language is derived from Latin lingua. This is derived from Latin word lingua. That means language or tongue or speech. The Latin term lingua. That means language, speech or tongue. Language is a tool of communication. In simple sentence, you can say language as a medium of communication. If we attempt to define language, the first thing that comes to mind is words. Language implies combination of words to share our ideas in a meaningful way. By changing the word order in the sentence, you can change the meaning and even make it meaningless. What is the importance of language? Do you know the importance of language? Anybody? It is important for communicating our ideas, but at the same time, communication is also used for preserving our knowledge. Communication is used as a medium of language is used as a medium of communication, and at the same time, language is also the means of preserving knowledge. If there had been no language, language has been wide, just as we are in the prehistory days. Today, we are able to read Ramayana, Gita, Bible, and Quran only due to language. According to mental state, language may be defined as the expression of thought by means of speech sounds. Language is an important way for socialization, for pictures, immediate brotherhood from the world. People use language to give shape to their thoughts. It is language that creates difference between human being and non-human being. Now, what are the features of language? According to Noam Chomsky and Ferdinand Lassalle, the features of language are: language is artificial, language is abstract, it is arbitrary, creative, redundant, and recursive. Do you know why language is called artificial? Because language is made by human beings. It is man-made creation. Language is a creation of human mind. So it is called artificial. Anything which is created by human being, that is known as artificial. Language is also created by human being, which is the creation of mind. So it is artificial. Language is restricted. It is limited. Why language is called restricted? Because when we think and translate our thoughts into language, some meaning is lost in the process. Means there is no symbols, and there is no word by using which we can transfer the exact reality. So it is restricted. For example, you can say, when you passed high school, then you were very happy. And when again you passed intermediate, you are very happy. Every time you are saying very happy. Okay? There is no word to express your exact feeling. Okay? Language is abstract. Language is arbitrary. And language is creative. Creative is every day we create new words by using different processes. The process may be borrowing process, it may be augmentative process, it may be flipping, it may be back information, and so on. Borrowing process means taking words from other languages and including your own language. For example, the word pencil, it is taken from Chinese. The word rickshaw, it is taken from Japanese. Okay? The augmenting word, the example of augmenting word is entertainment. Portmanteau word is a combination of two words. Edutainment. Education plus entertainment. First part of education, feeding, and the last part of entertainment. We include both words and find the new words that is edutainment. Edutainment is portmanteau words. Okay, the word is smoke. Yes, the only. Smoke plus fog. It is the combination of two words, smoke plus fog. The first part of smoke and the last part of fog. And we get a new word that is smoke. This is known as portmanteau. It is the blending of two words. Language is recursive. Means no limit to the potential length of sentence. Means you may increase the length of sentence according to your own wish. Now we will discuss about communication, concepts of communication, and what is communication. Do you know anybody what is communication?
What is
communication? Anybody? Yes. From one person to another. Transferring of ideas, transferring of information, or any kind of anything which transfer from one person to another person. And the word connection taken from Latin word that is known as communicative. Latin word communicative. That means sharing. The word communicative means sharing, sharing of ideas, feelings, and exchange of information. Okay. Communication is a two-way process. It is known as two-way traffic, and also it is known as a circular process. It is not one way. Means when you send the message and again you receive the message, so it makes circle. So it is known as circular process. According to following the order, communication is an act of transmitting ideas to one person to another person. It requires at least two persons, the sender of the message and its receiver. This in the process of communication, at least two persons are required. One will be sender and other will be receiver. And the steps in the process of communication, there are mainly 5 steps in the process of communication. That is aggregation, encoding, transmission, decoding, and feedback. What do you mean by aggregation? Before communication, there is ideation. When you say something to anybody, first step is ideation. Ideation is creation of ideas in your mind. First you create some ideas, comes in your mind. Then that idea you say, and that process known as encoding. Is converting your thoughts into sentence. That is known as encoding step. And the third step is transmission. First you encode the message, and then you transmit the message. And then the next step is decoding. Sender sends the message and receiver receive the message and we try to understand the meaning of the message. And again, the last step is feedback or response. The response is given by receiver to the sender. The reply answer given by receiver to the sender is known as feedback. Nature of communication. Do you know the nature of communication? How is the nature of communication? The nature of communication is social, extrovert, dynamic, and multidimensional. Why communication is known as social? The question is, why communication is known as social? Anybody? Because it is originated in society. Okay. Communication is originated in society. So it is known as social. It is collective. We can send information to say to so many persons at a time. So it is known as collective. It is extrovert because uh, during the communication, a speaker uh, have to incline towards speaking. उसको क्या करना पड़ता है? कुछ बोलना पड़ता है. ठीक है? He is bound to speak something. So it is extrovert and dynamic. Why is it known as dynamic? Because communication is information moves from one point to another. So it is known as dynamic. And multidimensional communication can be sent in so many directions, in all directions at a time. So it is known as multidimensional. This is the nature of communication. It involves impression as well as expression. It is used competently. Communication can be productive. If you are able to use communication in a competent way, then it will be productive for you. And at the same time, if your communication is not good, then it will destroy your whole business. It will destroy your whole profession. Okay, so you should be expert in communication. Communication can be enlightening as well as misleading, depending upon one's skills and proficiency. It may be enlightening, it may be used for showing right path, as well as if you are not expert in communication, then you will mislead them from their right path. So this is the nature of communication. It may be enlightening as well as it may be misleading. Now we will discuss about levels of communication. Communication can be done at different levels. It may be extrapersonal, intrapersonal, interpersonal, organizational, as well as mass communication. Extrapersonal communications is just between human being and non-human entity. And intrapersonal, talking to yourself, communicating to yourself is known as intrapersonal communication. And interpersonal communication between two persons, that is known as interpersonal. And when the communication is done at organizational level in the organization, that is known as organizational communication. And mass communication is done at large scale. It covers wide geographical area, so it is known as mass communication. These are the levels of communication. And now we discuss about the objectives of communicative English. What are the objectives of communicative English? The objective of communicative English may be to inform, to instruct, to motivate, to entertain, and so on. There are mainly two types of communication. That is, you know very well. That is verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Do you know verbal communication? What is verbal communication? Yes. This one. When we have our physical, using words. That's good. Sit down. The word verbal is related to words. The word verbal means related to words. Yes, any communication which must have used words, that is known as verbal communication. Verbal communication is two types. It may be oral, it may be written. This is both types of communication. Whether you are doing oral communication or written communication, you are using words. In every condition, you are using words. So this is form of verbal communication. Okay. When you communicate by speaking medium, that is known as oral, and when you write something, that is known as written. For example, class notes, report, proposal, that is known as written communication. And the second communication is non-verbal type. Non-verbal means the communication which is done without using words. Without using words, that is known as non-verbal communication. For example, the communication which is done by body language, gestures and postures, eye contact, dressing sense, appearance, kinesics, proxemics, closeness. That is known as non-verbal communication. Touch, signals, symbols, indications. That's the example of non-verbal communication. Now we shall discuss about communicative English and body language. Communicative English emphasizes on body language. Whether you are communicating in meeting, seminar, conference, everywhere body language plays an important role. Appropriate body language may increase the duty of communication. According to Nancy Austin, when people don't know whether to believe or not what they are hearing or what they are saying, they go with the body language because body language reveals the fact. When you have doubt that somebody is speaking right now, then you should check the body language of that person. Okay. A famous psychologist says that we talk with our vocal cords, but we communicate with our facial expressions, our tone of voice, and our whole body. What is facial expression? You know, role of facial expression is communication. What do you mean by facial expression? As you know that face is the index of the heart. What is going inside, that is reflected at once on your face. A famous writer says that face is the index of the heart. Means it reflects your inner feelings. It is associated with happiness, sadness, anger, astonishment, fear, and so on. The role of eye contact in communication. Eye plays an essential role in all face-to-face communication. It is a means of developing rapport with the audience. Looking at somebody for a long time shows the intensity of our interest. If eye contact is deep, then our eyes shut out during the communication, then it shows nervousness or lack of confidence. Gestures, physical movement of body parts such as the movements of arms, legs, head and fingers, that is known as gestures. So during the communication, we must try to maintain proper gestures. Postures. What is postures? Postures refer the way we hold ourselves when we sit, stand, or walk. Okay. Now we shall discuss about the salient features of communicative English. What are the main characteristics of communicative English? The first characteristic is use of familiar and easy words. During the communication, we should try to use familiar and easy words. In professional writing or communicative English, we should use familiar and easy words. The use of foreign words should be avoided. For example, the word like de facto and bonjour, it should be avoided. We should use plain English. We should not mix foreign language with English. Latin word, Greek word, or French word. We should not mix with English. Use of clear sentence. This is the second feature of communicative English. Means there should be clarity of thought. Communicative English should be clear so that reader or listener can understand its meaning clearly. But our communication is not served by making our communication enigmatic. For example, the bucket fell into the well, filled with water. This is a sentence. The bucket fell into the well, filled with water. Is it clear sentence? Is it clear sentence? The bucket fell into the well, filled with water. Is it clear sentence? It is ambiguous sentence. it is creating doubts in your mind. It is creating confusion in your mind. It is not clear sentence. So the correct sentence will be the bucket filled with water fell into the well. Okay. The next sentence is by working hard, your goal can be achieved. By working hard, you can achieve your goal. Sentence should be always in active voice. We should try to use active voice. We should not use sentence in passive voice. Passive voice should be avoided. Use of sentence of moderate length. Experts are of the opinion that a sentence should be of moderate length. It must consist 12 to 25 words. It should not be less than 12 nor more than 25. Avoid needless repetition. Needless repetition should be avoided. For example, I was born in summer in the month of July. I was born in summer in the month of July. Here is needless repetition in this sentence. The correct sentence is I was born in July. There is no need of saying summer. Because if you are saying July, then Indian context, this is understood that July is summer. Okay. Redundant phrases should be avoided. For example, basic fundamentals. If you are saying basic fundamentals, so there is no need of saying basic fundamentals. Fundamentals sufficient. You should say only fundamentals. There is no need of saying basic fundamentals. If you are saying experience, there is no need of saying actual experience. Only experience sufficient. Final result. Result is always final. So there is no need of saying final result. You should say only result. Okay. The next feature is brevity. Communication should be brief. Roundabout sentences and expressions. It is always advisable to use short sentences. It should be comprehensible. Communicative English should be complete. Completeness should be there. And there should be correctness. It should be complete, correct, and comprehensible. Okay. Causes of communication failure. What are the main causes for communication failure? This is a very important topic. Communication is basically a transfer or transportation of message. But sometimes communication failure may result because of the subjective error. Either the right words or they are misunderstood. Means these mistakes can be done by the sender as well as by the receiver. For example, what is the value of this share? For example, what is the value of this share? What is the meaning of this sentence? As you know that the word value means price. Word value means price. And I got good value for my house. I got good value for my house. Price. And what is the value of this share? This is all again price. Suppose that the share belongs to the constitution player. So what is the value of this share?
Importance.
Importance. To be correct. The word value is importance. Clear. The word value is price. The value of studying about history. In these three sentences, the meaning of value is different. Okay. We took the tomatoes out of the paper bags and in plastic. The next sentence is we took the tomatoes out of the paper bag them into question. Is it clear sentence? Is it correct sentence? Are you correct? We took the tomato, listen carefully. We took the tomatoes out of the paper bags and threw them into dustbin. We took the tomatoes out of the paper bags and threw them into dustbin. Is it clear sentence? Okay. This is not clear sentence. What did we throw in dustbin? What did we throw in dustbin? Tomato bags, paper bags. But in this sentence, the meaning is not clear. So the clear sentence is: we took the tomato out of the paper bags and threw the paper bags into dustbin. This is the correct sentence. There is clarity of thought. There is no confusion. Otherwise, use per sentence, listener will be confused. The next sentence is: he wrote the biography of his life. He wrote the biography of his life. Is it correct? He wrote the biography of his life. He wrote
He writes it.
biography. Okay, अगर आपने बोल दिया, okay. I can remember the party and the food that was served, but I did not enjoy it. But I did not enjoy it. Again, this sentence is not clear sentence, it is ambiguous sentence. What does it mean? What is the meaning of it? I did not enjoy it. What is the meaning of it? Party or food? Okay. I can remember the party and the food that was served. Did not enjoy the party. This is barriers to communication. Barriers and communicative skills. Do you know barriers of communication? Do you know barriers? What is barrier? Obstructions is any elements that prevent the free flow of thoughts from sender to receiver. That is known as barrier. That is also known as filter. It acts like a sieve, allowing only the part of the message filter through. It essentially desired response is not achieved. It is also known as noise. Noise doesn't mean mixture of unpleasant sound, but it is known as cacophony. But it is interference or break of communication process. In other words, we can say that any unwanted sound that prevents the free flow of information from sender to receiver is known as noise. There are many types of barriers. It may be intrapersonal barrier, interpersonal barrier, or national barrier. I will discuss in short. The first barrier is wrong assumption. Wrong assumption. Sometimes barrier is created by wrong assumptions. Wrong assumptions can prevent the communicator to think other aspects of the problem and he considered only his own thinking as right. For example, when doctor tells his patient that he has to take some medicine only SOS without knowing whether his patient knows the meaning of word SOS or not. Here doctor is creating barrier. Here doctor made wrong assumptions about the knowledge level of his patient. This barrier is created by doctor. Okay. Do you know the meaning of SOS? SOS. What is the full form of SOS? Anybody? Speak out? No. This purposive. That is according to time and situation, according to need. This way, but take paracetamol, SOS. डॉक्टर बोलता है ना, take paracetamol, SOS. Yes.
जब जरूरत है
Fever has failure. So this is Latin word S. Okay. Varying perceptions. As you know that perceptions of different persons are different. Interpersonal barriers may occur due to varied perceptions. Let us take the case of an altercation between two individuals. If you are close to one of them, you are likely to be biased. You may perceive your friend's arguments are, and hence you may not be able to appreciate your opponent's view. For example, we all know the story of six blind men and their description of an elephant. The elephant is perceived by each man as a fan, a rope, a wall, a stone, and a tree. None of the blind men was wrong, as the part of the elephant body touched by each blind man, and it was compared with various objects. Categorical thinking. This is also a kind of barrier. This is known as intrapersonal barrier, and it is also known as knowing all you. Categorical thinking is also known as knowing all you. This type of barrier is found in people who feel that they know everything particular topic. Such type of person feel that they know everything on a particular topic, and they further delay listening personal information, and they create categorical thinking. They create interpersonal barrier. In community of verbal and non-verbal messages, this is also a kind of interpersonal barrier. A communicator should acclimatize himself according to the communication environment. There should be the expression on his face what he is saying. In brief, non-verbal communication should match to verbal communication. Means there is similarity between verbal communication and non-verbal communication during the speech. Otherwise, you will create barrier in the communication process. Limited vocabulary. This can be a major hindrance in communication during the speech. If you are at a lot of words, it will leave a negative impact on the audience. Therefore, one should make constant efforts to increase one's vocabulary by regular reading of books and listening to the native speakers of the language, etc. The next barrier is emotional outburst. Emotional outburst creates an impediment in the path of communication. Communication selectivity, it is also a type of barrier, and misinterpretation of words. This is also a kind of barrier, and the next barrier is mispronunciation of words. This is very important barrier. It is a big barrier of communicating English. Now we will discuss about the role of pronunciation in communicating English. This is very important topic. Half of the world is composed of the people who have something to say but cannot, and other half of the world, other half have nothing to say and keep on saying. Even dull and trap topic will turn out to be more interesting if presented well. And at the same time, if your manner of delivery is not good, then interesting topic will become dull and boring. So one must try to learn the art of communication and science of language in order to grab the attention of the listeners. It is not just words, but also pronunciation, vowels, and special dialects. One must be careful in pronunciation. Your pronunciation may lead to miscommunication. For example, often Indian learners don't make distinction between word and word. There are two sounds. The sound which is given by letter V and the sound which we get by letter W. W and one. V-I-N-E and W-I-N-E. Wine and wine. there is no difference created by Indian speakers. So in word VIMAWIME, this is a mispronunciation. They pronounce VEST and WEST without any distinction, and this becomes the cause of intelligibility. Indian mispronounce the English word, English sound for mispronunciation of English sound for as in Hindi for, because they don't make distinctions between bilabial and labial sound. Indian speakers pronounce the word FINE as of fine. Fine, FINE, which is pronounced as fine, but it is not fine like Hindi for, but it should be fine. During the production of for, lower lip should raise to upper front lip. Lower lip should raise to upper front lip. These are the articulators. That is the correct translation of word FINE, fine. Fine, and you are saying fine by using two lips. If you are touching two lips during the production of during the pronunciation of word FINE, the adjective is fine. Lower lip should raise to upper front lip. Okay. Many times Indian uses Hindi term in place of English term. For example, Tamil Nadu. For example, Tamil Nadu. Indian pronounce the word Tamil Nadu as a Tamil Nadu. Just like Hindi. But it is Tamil Nadu. This is not ta, but it should be ta. Because in English, there is no existence of ta. There is no existence of ta. English में ta sound नहीं होता. कौन सा होता है? Ta. There is no existence of ta sound. So you should pronounce Afghanistan, not Afghanistan. If you are saying Afghanistan, it is wrong. Okay. So there is no existence of the sound in English. Okay. Indian pronounce the words like measure, pleasure, pleasure. This J is just like J. Don't say J. This is not J. This is not measure. This is not pleasure. This is not leisure. But this is leisure, pleasure, and leisure. Okay. J. There is three types of J in English. One is J, other is J, and other is G. There are three types of J in English. In word ZOO, that is zoo. Okay. And in word JUDD, judge, that is judge. But in English word measure and pleasure, that is judge. Measure, pleasure, pleasure. Okay. The words like bulbs, rods, bags, and girls are also mispronounced by Indians. The final sound in these words are J, but we Indian pronounce like sir. GIRLS. We pronounce girls. Girls. That is incorrect. That should be girls. Girls. RODS. That is rods. No, that is not rods. That is rods. FANS. That is not fans. That is fans. The last sound is J. Okay. The student is pronounced student by Indians, but exactly it is not the student. That is student. 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 Okay. Just like government, parliament. Okay, statement, assignment. This is not assignment, not parliament. Statement. I would like to provide some examples how the standard pronunciation of diction create difficulty of Indian listeners. For example, the Englishman speaks, there was a cold day. The Englishman says that there was a cold day. There was a cold day. There was a cool day. there was a cool day. But in final says that there was a cold day. And we understand there was a cold day. Like it. There was a cold day. Final says there was there was a cold day. That is isolated. And day is not day, that is day. Okay, there was a cold day. There was a cold day. There was a cold day. Dixon is he is a newcomer. Dixon is he is a newcomer. He is a newcomer. And we understand his newcomer. So far, we have discussed the importance of pronunciation. But now we shall discuss the role of paralanguage in communication. Paralanguage refers to the non-verbal element of communication used to modify meaning to emotions. It is very important as it can completely change the meaning of sentence. Your voice is your trademark. It adds human touch to your words. It may be expressed consciously or unconsciously. The linguistic features of communicative English are given below. The first is pitch. You must keep in the mind about pitch, P-I-T-C-H, during oral communication or communicative English. Pitch refers to the vibration of your voice. There should be variation in the pitch because speech delivered with a static pitch or same level pitch, so the speech becomes dull and boring. So there should be variation in the pitch. You should always fluctuate your voice, otherwise it will be not interesting. Volume. Volume means loudness and the softness of the voice. Speak loud enough so that listeners are able to hear. And the third point is rate. R-A-T-E. Rate of delivery. Rate is the number of words spoken per minute. How many words should be spoken per minute?
120.
80 to 120 words per minute. It is the normal rate of delivery. Total quality. And the next is tone of voice. The final attributes of voice and delivery are tone. The tone of voice tells whether a person is pleasant mood or in an unpleasant mood. It shows the intentions and the attitude of the speakers. Modulation. Modulation means the way we regulate, vary, adjust the tone, the pitch, and the volume of the sound. Articulation. Articulation means the production of speech sounds distinctly and clearly with the help of articulatory organs. The physical production of particular speech sound clearly and effectively is known as articulation. Pronunciation. Pronunciation is the manner of speaking words correctly with proper stress, intonation, and rhythm. Do you know stress? Stress. What is the use of stress in oral communication or communicative English? Stress. Stress means giving force on a particular part of word. For example, in word examination, when you pronounce the word examination is 5 selective word. We make 5 efforts in the pronunciation of the word examination. Examination. So this is 5 selective word, and the primary stress is on 4 syllable, and the secondary stress is on the second syllable. So this is pronounced examination. Examination. This is not examination, but examination. Examination. Okay. There are 2 types of stress: primary and secondary. Primary stress is shown in the vertical bar, above and in front of the syllable which it refers, and the secondary stress, it is shown in the vertical bar below and in front of the syllable to which it refers. And the last part is pause. Pause should be at the right places. So I would like to conclude. Through this lecture, I attempted to throw allied to various facets and features of communicative English. To conclude, we can say communicative English is the necessity of modern life. We must try to learn it with chill and joy. It is impacted by culture, society, time, place, and pronunciation, etc. Okay. Any questions from your side? Okay. I'm going to thank you to the entire team, to Mahayogi, Gorakhnath University, and to Gorakhnath Sciences. Share my ideas in front of you. Thanks once again to all of you.